Hey, it's Ruth Binswaite with Spanish Curriculum powered by Sombrero Time, and we are bringing you back to talk about circuitry, nervous system, with the beautiful Evelyn DeRuse, who is a psychotherapist, Enneagram specialist, MFT, putting too many letters in there. But wouldn't a 7 do that? So anyway, we talked about celebration and the protective neurocircuitry, part of your nervous system, fight or flight. And today we're going to talk about...
Well, it seems like the exact opposite. So we talked about mobilization, how our nervous system activates us to get ready to move, whether it's in excited celebration and jubilation, or whether it's in self-protective or tribe protective fight or flight. But the other side of the coin, if you will, is when we are not able to activate. And so I think looking at what animals often do in the wild, we talk about having a deer in the headlights look, that frozen. And I see jackrabbits on my walk a lot. And so if you think of a rabbit being chased by, let's say, a mountain lion or something, what animals often do when they can't escape is they don't play dead. Their autonomic nervous system puts them into a death look, feign. The heart rate slows way down. The breathing slows way down. The blood pressure lowers. And the instinct of a predator, when they see that an animal is in that state, they look dead, and their instincts tell them don't eat dead meat. Now they're thinking, is this alive or dead? Is this tainted meat? But their instincts don't eat it. Now, unless you're a turkey vulture, vultures will eat dead meat, but they have a different gut and a different, whole system there. So this is built into us as humans too, where we will faint or we will slow way down, maybe with emotions like sadness, with what we would describe as depression, which I think oftentimes is I'm depleted. My energy is so low that I'm not very motivated. It's hard to get up and go, if you will. So this is the immobilization, parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. So the positive, if you will, side of it is what's known just colloquially as rest and digest. So after a really nice meal, your nervous system is like, oh, okay, now the blood can flow to my digestive tract. And I don't need the blood flow to my extremities anymore to get away from this danger. I'm at peace. Everything is calm and relaxed. And so that's the way we think of the parasympathetic nervous system. So, any thoughts about that?
I mean, okay, so help me process this, because one night Dave and I were watching 137 Hours, which is a pretty intense movie about the guy who fell into a crevice or crevasse when he was hiking alone, and he literally had to sever his arm off to get out. And so we're watching this really intense movie, and it gets right to the point where he's gonna pop his nerve. And Dave, my husband, was like, I am out of here. Like, it was so intense for him, he had to get out of the room. And I kind of know this about him because he's the guy in the movie. Like, he's the gladiator. He's the William Wallace. Like, he's in the movie. He loves this kind of epic adventure kind of thing. But this was like taking him over the edge. It was too much. And he stood up and passed out. I mean, he literally stood up and went back, hit his head on the wood floor before the rest of his body. I mean, like, that's how like rigid he was too. I mean, he just went back like a board. And I was like, Drama King, like what is all this action? Like, really? And he was out. He knocked himself out. He gave himself a concussion.
Oh,
Which is terrible. It was terrible. But I was like, what is going on? I mean, like, his whole body just shut down.
Yeah. Well, so this is what's really interesting about our body automatically trying to achieve balance. So he was not choosing to be a drama king.
Right.
This is completely automatic. And so, as I said earlier, that our blood pressure actually is lowered when we're in parasympathetic response. And so his blood pressure was so low that he didn't have enough to keep him upright.
Yeah.
And the body knows, oh, if I am prone, then the blood flow I can get blood to my head and to my vital organs. And so the body knows, fall down. So fainting in a way is a protective thing for our survival. Now, it doesn't, again, he didn't choose that this was a hard surface and I'm going to give myself a concussion. So that part of it is very unfortunate. But if you think of it just in terms of the physiology there, that's oftentimes what fainting is about. And as I described, that the animals that will feign death, again, it's not a choice, but it does save their life. And so this immobilization is in balance with mobilization. And probably Dave was so mobilized by his identification with the main character in this, that he was sharing physiologically all of the adrenaline, all of the, cortisols that were flowing through his system. And then it got to be too much, but his blood pressure
had dropped.
Now, I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not sure if I'm saying all of that exactly technically correct, but that's a general understanding of what happens.
Right.
So we need immobilization. We need to digest our food. We need to sleep. We need to know how to calm down. Refer back to the rest yes things for ideas on that.
Yeah.
But this balance goes on. And the more we know about it, we can actually do things to help assist in that regulation so that we don't get concussions, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're not just freezing.
Yes.
That's really good. Super, super helpful because we're going to be going into situations where as we move out and we've been inside, we're going to have different responses happening in our nervous system that if we can do some self-regulation and mobilize some calming strategies like the rest yes, then it can help us maneuver through it in a more kind of healthy homeostasis way, right? All right, you guys, we got another one coming right back at you. But don't forget to be mobilizing these strategies for calming so that when your nervous system is getting triggered, whether it's mobilizing or immobilizing, you still can calm yourself down and be able to connect effectively with other people. All right, so more coming at you in the next session on the neurocircuitry that we all have in us, and we can learn how to be self-aware and self-regulatory with. All right. Hasta pronto.